Well, that's not going well. So it looks like we're going convertible with the Suburban. Will it flip? I think we might have to make it into a rock crawler. Does it look like a convertible yet? My idea all along, freaking convertible. 4-door Blazer. Precision right there, boys. About to try to get the trans up in place. There's so much room under here with the 40s and I think it's a 6-inch lift. I just checked the fluids, still got plenty of trans fluid, even though it's all down the side. We are 20 minutes from home on Sunday on our way back. So I've been trailering the F-250 for about an hour and 40 minutes. Shut off and now it doesn't want to start. I think I'm on to something. Check this out. I had a full tank when I left and now it's almost empty. I think I got a vapor lock issue, so it's not letting fuel get to the engine. Well, we broke down, stopped for gas, and won't start up. So we've been to O'Reilly's. Tristan came to the rescue. I got 2 new parts. First one didn't work. This fuel pump relay right here did not fix it. But now we're trying this ignition control module thing or something that's under the distributor that apparently can affect the fuel too. So we'll see if this improves it or not. As you can see, that did not solve our problem. Turned out to be the oil pressure sensor back there by the distributor. There's another sensor that shut off power to the fuel pump. Got that fixed and started using this thing to tow again. Had the crew cab back in the shop, pulled it in with the 6.7 power stroke, and shortly after that went to go pick up another bump side crew cab for my project. This is how it went. Well, that's not going well. I took this corner too fast and locked up the brakes and slid around. Tore this thing all up. So it looks like we're going convertible with the Suburban. Trailer's still upside down. The Suburban has a nice big old dent in the back. Here she comes. The safety chains didn't safety chain very well. She looks fine on the passenger side. I think we might have to make it into a rock crawler. And not the worst. Not the worst. A little beat up. It wasn't that pretty to begin with. Trying to be optimistic. It looks like I did actually mess up one of my wheels. The hitch is all bent crooked, but it looks like the trailer came around far enough to hit the wheel and tire. So I got a cracked rim now. Will it flip? Hey, they fixed my fender on that side. Oh yeah, she's pretty tweaked. Might be time for a new trailer. I am back at the Suburban, and one of my issues is my trailer tires are not all touching. I just fixed the other side with a quick Google search. Figured out when these have no weight on them at all, like when they're upside down, these can actually shift and flip. So you got to pry it up with a pry bar or 2x4, which is what I just did to the other side. So I'm going to try to do that. This piece here should be level. So that's why this tire is free spinning even with the truck on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix that real quick and then finish strapping it down. So now we got all 4 tires on the ground, and I just need to strap this thing down and get it to the house, figure out what we're gonna do with it. My buddy TJ pulled up in his bullnose Bronco, and we're gonna get to work here on Father's Day. Just got this sign from my wife, really stoked on that for Father's Day. The truck house is what my daughter has named this building, and really digging that name. You can see it's like a kind of old school maintenance sign there. Got my Bronco on it, so super stoked on that. I know she had Southern Raised Apparel do that, so that's awesome. Really happy with how that came out. And then in here we have quite the project for the day. We decided on Father's Day we wanted to be working in here, and then later we're going to grill out with the family. So just mounting up this 40 again so we can roll it out of the shop. I needed to work on the steering, but today's priority is to take the roof off of this thing so you can see where we're going to cut it and make this into a 4-door Blazer. So really stoked on that. We'll see how it goes. This thing should be mechanically sound aside from the steering. It just has a big old caved in section from the roof because I actually rolled it on its side and slid into a guardrail while pulling an empty trailer. So this thing's a little top heavy. I may end up lowering it down some, but we're gonna take some weight right off the top by cutting it off. So we'll get her mounted up and I'll follow along. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's relatively easy to cut off. I got a couple sawzalls, so we'll see what happens. Well, that was easy. Here's a look at the inside. TJ's sweet Grappaholics shirt. So she's pretty broke all the way up to the front. So we're gonna clean it out and chop it right below the windows, get this roof off of here, and we'll have ourselves a convertible hopefully today. There's a lot of junk in here that was here before, old plate and random like parts for this thing. Some of this stuff is my tools, so I'm gonna clean it out some and we'll get her cut off. Eventually I'm gonna put a tailgate on here, I think, if I can rig that up to look, you know, somewhat decent. And then it'll just be totally open all the time. We'll put a roll cage in it and have a 4-door Blazer. About to throw this away, but want to show y'all how bent my hitch got from the wreck. The trailer rolled over with it and ended up completely upside down. So that was pretty exciting. This was a brand new drop hitch, so that's going in the trash. Just pulled the glass out. That took like a minute. So now we just have to cut it here. I think we're gonna leave this seam for now, and then we'll figure out how to fold it and weld it to make it look a little better, or use parts of the roof to make it kind of smooth so you don't get cut on it. All right, looks like this thing's been rolled over. Shit.
Is this the side the trailer hit?
Yeah, you see it hit the wheel.
Dude.
And the tire. So, and it broke a lug nut, so I mean, it's pretty much messed up. There it goes. Woo. Oh, that's money.
But we have experience.
You know what, we could keep this seal on it and it wouldn't be sharp, but I still think we should weld it.
Who doesn't like cutting roofs off of perfectly bad trucks?
I know, it's kind of our thing. I'm gonna call my insurance. I was trying to remove my rearview mirror and my glass shattered. We just cut this pillar off here. We decided that was a good spot. And we even threw the hood, grill, and one fender on here. This sucker's gonna be tall already, just with this like 3.5 inch lift sitting up there really high. Those old trucks definitely usually sit lower. So we're about to cut this other one here I'm still figuring out like front to back exactly where I'm gonna put the cab. And old TJ's bringing his old Bronco over here. We got 2 Broncos and a bunch of old Ford trucks. We got a nice little junkyard going on over here. Just cut this other side off here. There we go. Basically done now. About to tear my blade all up. That's not good. Got in there a little crooked and hot. Well, I can see this door definitely puts a lot of force on this. So we'll have to, but whenever I do the roll cage, we'll reinforce that. Now remember what
See, you got some those things.
Yeah, this whole side is floppy. We'll get her straight. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Yeah, so this one's gonna get real floppy too here in a second. All right, that looks about right. I don't have a tape on this side. So I cut a little higher on this side. I don't know why, but
that's fine.
Came out fine.
We just gotta cut the roof.
Look at how floppy the door is. But I mean, really, it bends and then it stops.
That's the last cut and the top comes off.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. How are we gonna carry this thing? It's gonna be heavy. A little bit curious if this thing's gonna completely collapse. All right, so I was gonna cut this nice, but I'll just cut it long and then cut it again nice later.
We need a new blade for cutting it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my smaller saw too.
There you go.
Okay, let's cut it. I can't see, I'm fogging up. I'm slowly slipping off the truck. That's not good.
OSHA has entered the chat.
Come on, man. OSHA, never heard of her. Also, I'm playing with the blade while it's still plugged in. Hope none of my students see this. I'll get a sir. Okay, that's better than it was. I'm almost to like the real easy part. This is so hot on me. Ah. Oh. Does it look like a convertible yet? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I stepped in the spare tire hole and stuck in the door. So let's go back a little bit off the front door.
I'm just gonna flip it.
No, yeah, I want to get it past.
We're cutting it off, don't we?
Yeah, but it's gonna rip this whole spring. Finagle it, go slow. Don't throw it yet. I'm gonna close the door in just a second. Alright, now we can, let me get back in the back so we can pick it up and flip it. Go, 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 go. One, two, three. room for activities in here.
You could just pull the truck.
Could have bought a truck, that would have been easier. Ready for action. All right, we have chopped the top off, and now we don't want to have to push it back in by hand, so we're going to try to start it for the first time since the rollover. There we go. Little smoky. Perfect. Just made my first door cut. Super flimsy now, and we're gonna cut it pretty close to here. He just cut the top off of that, so that's exciting. That came off pretty nicely. And we just gotta ditch the glass. Do the same thing here, same thing over there, and we'll have a pretty straight setup here that we can go back in and smooth out and weld shut, so it's not super dangerous and hacked looking. So we're gonna hack it and then we're gonna unhack it a little bit. What you got there?
We did save the glass.
Yeah, that glass is great. It's like one of the only pieces that's not broken.
The way the purest.
This one too. And then the front two windows were never broken. All the glass was already broken when I bought the thing, except for the windshield. That one's new. So this thing was pretty much ready for this already. Somehow this glass has stayed together pretty nicely. Glass. Hold this. Dude, yeah, this was my idea all along. Freaking convertible. There it is. 4-door Blazer, just like that. This is her bad side. A little rough around the edges, but we just removed most of the damage because it was all on the roof. And as you can see, got basically a truck bed, open air experience here, but we're gonna get a nice roll cage that'll be tied into probably the body mounts, what I'm thinking, so it could be removable, but give it some strength because it's gonna be pretty flexy right now without all that support. We'll fix up our cuts here, maybe bend that piece back out and get a new windshield. Probably gonna cut the fender for now. I might do the older, like early Squarebody with the round headlights, fenders and front grille and bumper and all that eventually if I want to make it nice. Maybe some better doors to cut that aren't so beat up, but we got ourselves a little convertible rock crawler right here as soon as we get a roll cage. I'm going to try to do a normal like Silverado tailgate, which I know the shape is different, but I'm hoping I could like weld in the normal tailgate latches and have some kind of tailgate that looks somewhat normal. I don't know, these might be too crazy of a shape, in which case I could probably just cut the back off, get rid of this damage, and then weld the back of a truck on it and have a tailgate. So we'll figure all that out. Maybe do the bed sides here to make this nice and flat, weld all that in later. But you can see our seats are there. The seat height is like perfect with this. It looks good, they're not sticking up too high. And let me climb in there real quick. Hold this for me if you don't mind. See how it looks like. You know.
Just reach over and open it from the inside.
Oh, that's right. It opens from the inside. Yeah, there's so much room to do some parades. But yeah, I think this will be pretty sweet, you know. And she yeah, that's solid. I like it. Y'all be sure to stay tuned for more topless wheeling. If y'all haven't yet, check out my videos of taking the 6.7 Power Stroke with absolutely no body on it. It was super sketchy. I had so much fun. Made a lot of good friends out there at UARI. Hope to take the Squarebody out there with a roll cage and have that thing set up to do it all the time and hopefully not break anything. So be sure to come back. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm really excited about the future of this thing. When life gives you lemons, squeeze them in your eye.